From being one of the weakest teams in the NFL, the Houston Texans completely flipped the script by securing 10 wins and clinching a playoff berth in the 2023 season. With the 2024 offseason kicking off and the Texans aggressively stepping up their game, they clearly seem ready to push for a championship run. In the 2022 season, the Houston Texans found themselves at the bottom of the relatively weak AFC South, with their starting quarterbacks Davis Mills throwing only 17 touchdowns alongside 15 interceptions. After finishing dead last in their division, expectations were low for their performance in the 2023 season. However, determined to turn things around, the Texans made significant changes. They fired their head coach Lovie Smith and brought in Demeco Ryans, the 49ers defensive coordinator, to take the helm. The offseason also included some crucial moves, the most notable being their first-round pick in the 2023 draft. The Texans selected CJ Stroud, a 21-year-old quarterback from Ohio State, second overall. This pick stirs some controversy because Stroud has reportedly scored low on a cognition test, which assesses a quarterback's intelligence and decision-making abilities. Despite this, the Texans trusted their judgment and went ahead with Stroud, signaling a bold new direction for the team. What followed was a pretty disappointing preseason, with a lot of people thinking CJ Stroud was going to be a bust, but once the regular season kicked off, things really turned around. With new head coach Demeco Ryans leading the way, the whole vibe of the team changed. Rookie quarterback CJ Stroud stepped up and got the offense going, which helped the Texans finish the season with a 10-7 record at the top of the AFC South. They made it to the AFC title game but lost to the top-seeded Ravens. Despite that, the 2023 season was way better than anyone expected, especially with a new coach and a rookie quarterback, and it turned out to be one of the best seasons the team has ever had. In the NFL, a lot depends on how your quarterback plays, and CJ Stroud showed his worth by winning Offensive Rookie of the Year after he threw for 4,108 yards, nailed 23 touchdowns, and only threw 5 interceptions in 15 games. Stroud's play instantly made the Texans a team to watch. He led a 5-point increase in the Texans' scoring average per game from 2022 to 2023, marking one of the best rookie QB seasons we've seen. This boosted the Houston's offense to 14th in the TSI offensive ratings. Their stats and offensive efficiency also shot up, moving from the bottom of the league in several categories in 2022 to solid mid-league rankings in 2023. At receiver, Nico Collins stepped up big time in his third season to become the top target for the Texans, while rookie Tank Dell was having a fantastic year until a leg injury cut his season short. On defense, the Texans improved dramatically, moving from 30th in 2022 to 14th in 2023. This jump was spearheaded by rookie star Will Anderson from Alabama. The defense overall tightened up, allowing 3.5 fewer points per game than the previous year, which significantly contributed to their improved defensive ratings. The special teams unit was another strong point. Kicker Kaimi Fairburn was nearly perfect, missing just one field goal, while punter Cam Johnston was a master at field position and long snapper John Weeks kept up his stellar performance. The return coverage units were among the top 10 in the NFL, and it seemed like every role player stepped up when needed, resulting in an impressively successful season for the Texans. People really got behind the Texans' underdog story last year, even though their journey ended in the AFC divisional round, a stark reminder of the distance they still need to cover, and it was still an incredible season. With 10 wins in the regular season, an AFC South title, and a strong playoff showing, the Texans have set a new standard. Looking ahead to 2024, optimism is high, and the expectations are even higher, with hopes of becoming a leading contender in the AFC. The big question now is whether the Texans can maintain or even exceed the high standards they've set. The first step is avoiding any regression and building on this positive momentum, which might mean making some bold moves in the offseason. Thankfully, Houston has a solid foundation to build on. Led by Offensive Rookie of the Year quarterback CJ Stroud, the Texans have secured a critical piece needed to succeed in a conference filled with top-tier passers and seasoned veterans. But Stroud is just one part of the groundwork laid by general manager Nick Caserio. The team saw significant contributions from rookies like Tank Dell, Juice Scruggs, and Defensive Rookie of the Year Will Anderson Jr. Alongside them, Christian Harris, Derek Stingley Jr., and Nico Collins all stepped up as key players in their positions, and with head coach Demeco Ryans steering the ship, the team has a real shot at contending at the highest levels next season. That said, the Texans entered free agency with a straightforward plan. Capitalize on CJ Stroud's rookie contract to build a competitive team around him. Starting with the third highest cap space in the league at over $57 million and dealing with 36 impending free agents, they had both challenges and opportunities. With substantial draft capital at their disposal, the Texans aimed to make strategic moves to enhance their roster. So far, they've made significant additions but also faced notable losses, including key players like Jonathan Greenard, Devin Singletary, Blake Cashman, and Sheldon Rankins. The dynamic of the team is set for considerable change in 2024, which could be beneficial. Despite exceeding expectations in 2023, there were evident gaps throughout the roster, especially in defense, that needed addressing. Losing a talented pass rusher like Jonathan Greenard was a setback, but the Texans compensated by signing four-time Pro Bowler Danielle Hunter, who took less money to join Houston, signaling his belief in the team's direction. Hunter is among the elite pass rushers in the league and is expected to make a significant impact in Demeco Ryan's defensive scheme, paired with Will Anderson Jr., who continues to excel on the field. Furthermore, the addition of defensive lineman Demeco Autry and linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair should bolster the defense considerably. These players are set to team up with Christian Harris, who is rapidly developing into a high-impact player. Overall, the Texans are strategically positioning themselves to build a strong, more competitive team for the 2024 season, capitalizing on their current assets and addressing the necessary areas for improvement. On the offensive side, the Texans were all about arming Stroud with top-tier talent, and they've certainly delivered. Adding Joe Mixon, who racked up over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns last year even without his star QB Joe Burrow for much of the season, bolsters their running game significantly. However, the real game-changer is the acquisition of Stefon Diggs via trade, placing one of the league's elite receivers alongside Stroud. Diggs is expected to mirror the transformative impact he had on Josh Allen in Buffalo, aiding in the young quarterback's development. Diggs joins a loaded receiver group that includes Nico Collins, Noah Brown, Robert Woods, John Mechie III, and the promising second-year player, Tank Dell, who has already shown great chemistry with Stroud. Despite a dip in his numbers mid-season last year, after starting strong with over 100 receiving yards in 5 of the first 6 games, Diggs should find plenty of opportunities in Houston's diverse offense, potentially leading to another standout season. Even before landing Diggs, the Texans were already being touted as off-season winners. But with his arrival, expectations for Stroud's leap in performance are even higher, reminiscent of Allen's growth with Diggs in Buffalo. The front office has clearly committed to building a championship-caliber team, signified by their aggressive moves in free agency and trades, including significant signings like cornerback Jeff Okudah, outside linebacker Danielle Hunter, cornerback CJ Henderson, and defensive end Demeco Autry, alongside re-signings like wide receiver Noah Brown and tight end Dalton Schultz. With the draft still to come, the Texans showed no signs of slowing down their quest to enhance both their offense and defense. General manager Nick Caserio has transformed a team that went 3-13-1 in 2022 into a Super Bowl contender and AFC South champion by 2023. With the pieces in place and further additions likely, the Texans are poised for continued success and a serious run at the Super Bowl over the next 4 years. That said, the Texans have arguably had the best offseason in the NFL so far, and that's before even stepping into the draft. They're clearly setting themselves up to be contenders for the long haul. The question now is, how far can the Texans go this year? They're likely to surpass many people's expectations. And as for CJ Stroud, could he put together an MVP-like season in 2024? Only time will tell, but with the strategic moves they've made, the Texans stock is definitely on the rise. Let me know in the comments how far you think the Texans will make it in the 2024 season. And don't forget to drop a like on this video and smash that subscribe button for more NFL videos.